that I would never take the time to do.
Never do.
Check.
An aisle two.
How do we look?
Milk
Do we look
store.
good in camera, honey?
Do we look good for you?
Okay.
Yeah.
This is Friends Living Well. I'm Kelsey.
I'm Fajita Trombone. Welcome
Pull
to-
that a little closer to you.
Yeah. Make
There you
love to
go.
that mic.
I'm Fajita Trombone, and welcome to today's episode of Friends Living Well. Boom boom. Trombone hit.
Oh yeah, can we edit in a trombone?
Yeah, for sure. I'll get right
Fajita
on that.
sizzling, and then a trombone sound.
We're gonna riff this episode. This is gonna be a relaxed episode. Tom and I talked about a name for these types of episodes, and now I can't remember.
I don't think we need a name. I think our t-shirts really highlight.
Yeah, if you see us wearing the Reba McEntire t-shirts, you know it's about to be a goofy ass episode.
It's about to be goofy, and we probably just came out of some shit. We probably just
Single
survived
mom.
some stuff.
Or not that fancy. That's what they are.
As he's incredibly fancy.
Yeah, you do look fancy.
But he is giving the vibe that he is not
Fancy boy.
too fancy. It's too
Not that
O's.
fancy.
Yeah. Yeah, he knows just where he falls on the fancy line.
There's a range.
There's a range, and it's not too fancy.
I'm under not that fancy.
He's doing what he can to be
Yeah.
not that fancy.
Nikita's back, you guys.
I'm back, y'all.
She's back, and she's skinny.
It's the era of skinny
Skinny
Keith.
Keith.
I'm feeling good.
I don't
I'm
know if you
back to
can see it in the
things.
camera, but she literally looks like a different fucking person.
I
It's
feel like a different
crazy.
person. It's funny. I feel like a different person, and at the same time, I feel like this has always been me. Even when
Yeah.
I dream, this is the version of me that I see my body in, and then I was waking up, and I was like, "Oh, that's weird. My
Makes sense.
reality
That's so
is different
crazy.
inside than my outside is."
Yeah, I don't know how much if we're gonna get into it in this ep or if we're gonna do it in another episode, but I think it'd be interesting to share your lived experience.
The story. I'm
The
down to share it.
story.
Yeah, I guess we've only touched on details of the actual surgery happening.
This actually might be the perfect one to do it.
Yeah, because I didn't say really what was happening. All I said was like she had a life-changing surgery, so I didn't really give details on the pod.
I had my whole freaking brain replaced. That
She
was
got
the
a
life
lobotomy, which is my dream. I would love that.
That's what she's craving.
Tom
right
is constantly denying me a lobotomy, and it's so fucked up. It's
now. And he
not
has
fair.
the power right there. He has the power.
Yeah, yeah. No lobotomy, I guess, for now. Yeah. So we're gonna go fast and loose on this up.
It just happened.
We
right there.
also, I don't know when we want to eat but
I'm
we have
excited and nervous.
Nikita fell. Well, okay. So actually, what happened was via Instagram. I think Nikita fell for a TikTok video ad.
I didn't fall. I was lured in.
She was
to a
lured in.
opportunity.
And she sends it to me and was like, "Can you buy this?" And I was like, "Of fucking course I could
Yeah,
buy
she
She
this."
was
TikTok.
marketed to.
She was marketed to
Successfully so.
successfully because Meta has all of her data, and so she sent it to me, and then I ordered it off of the TikTok shop.
Talk about a community. That's how we got that done.
So we have here on today's episode, we have Mama V's Extreme
Mama V.
Sour Blue Raspberry Blasts. They are gushers covered in a really sour, supposedly very sour.
Isn't it like the most sour? That's the whole point of it.
Yeah, it's
not-
like extreme sour.
Is it though?
Well, we're gonna find out. My
Is it the
mouth,
most?
every time I look at them, every time I
You
talk about
salivate?
it, I salivate. And then,
That's how sour stuff gets me too.
yeah, and the reason we've talked about how sour candy can be helpful for like bringing you back into your body and
Is that true?
yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah,
Airheads are my go-to.
yeah.
in that way.
Keep
If
it in
you-
your car.
Some people like just like the sour worms and stuff. I don't think that those ones.
Those
are
aren't
strong enough.
sour enough to me. Yeah.
You mean warheads?
Warhead. What did I say?
Airheads.
Oh, another
Airheads
good
are very.
candy,
They're good. They're
but
just
not
sweet.
Sour. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I've never had a sour airhead before.
no, warheads
Yeah,
are her
Warheads
go-to.
Warheads are great.
But they're good. A lot of therapists in their offices have like sour candy available for that reason. Because
Is that because it's such a shock to the system?
Yeah.
basically
It's like a smelling salt for your mouth.
Basically, yeah, it just triggers other areas of
Yeah.
your brain and kind of bypasses that.
It seems to me I feel like I've heard that the sour not olfactory glands, but like your sour taste buds, your sense of sour is like one of the more wider base in your mouth. Nothing?
I don't know.
I liked the dead silence for a second. I wanted to let it really
was
land.
processing because I was trying to think, what does that mean?
Insert tongue diagram here.
Yeah.
There are diagrams for your
So you're saying the
senses of
tongue
taste.
has like a lot of space on the tongue for sour tasting stuff? Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying? Okay.
it's spread out more.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Like-
I'm sorry, I wasn't picking up on what you were putting.
Well,
down.
I've seen a chart that I'll insert somewhere in here, but it's like sweet is like just at the very tip of your tongue, and like bitter is like the back. I don't know.
Well,
It's
I'm
just-
gonna die if I don't eat one of these soon because we keep talking about them, and I've been really wanting to do
Really
it.
salivate and yeah,
Sure.
you first.
No, I want to do it all at the same time.
We should do it at the same time.
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, let me reach over and
gonna
get
do
it.
it.
Yeah, let's go.
Smell them first.
Are they sticky?
They're definitely they smell sour.
No, they're just like powdery, a little messy.
It's like a little gremlin gem.
Yeah,
All right, are we ready to taste?
I'm as ready as I'm gonna be.
Okay, here we go.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That is fantastic. I love that.
Ooh.
That could go with a shot of tequila.
Oh man,
Got you.
I got one with a lot of powder on it.
Me too.
Oh,
Those are great.
Get another one, yeah.
whoa.
I'll eat that whole bag.
I don't know about the most sour. I feel
Ooh.
like Warheads are definitely more
Well,
than this.
I guess it depends on the flavor profile because blue raspberry is not a great metric for sour because it's so tasty to me. Now, if you gave me like a lemon or a sour apple, maybe sour cherry, perhaps.
Yeah, they taste good, but these would not do it for me.
Yeah, those are really tasty. I like them a lot.
I don't eat a lot of sour stuff.
I do. I love sour. Love Sour Patch
gotta-
Kids, sour worms.
It's got to
I'll
make you
take
do
some
that bitey face when
Yeah.
it's... That's how you know something's really sour.
The first one I had a lot of powder on it. It was like it kept going.
I'll put this in my drink.
Wow.
We just found Tom's new vice.
No.
I like them, though.
Yeah, those are really
It's like
tasty.
sand. I feel like we were at the
I
beach
know,
now.
I'm like licking my hand.
Yeah, shout out to Mama V's. Those are great.
They're good, but like unless you're ordering a bunch of stuff off TikTok shop, like the shipping kills you.
That's where they get you because if you want free shipping, you need to order like $50 worth of stuff.
I think it's closer to 35, but like that was a $10 bag, so it ended up being like a $20 purchase because
They'd get me every time I'd be spending that $35.
that's really good.
Yeah, same. That's a really good way to make me add to my cart.
time.
Give me
Well,
free
we
shipping.
could
Yeah,
we could have gotten a much bigger bag, but I didn't know if they were going to be a hit, so I got the small bag.
they're really good. I don't know if I want to eat them all the time, but they're awesome.
I
Well,
definitely
we
wanna
will-
get a cavity from them. That's what
We'll
I wanna
get we'll get some for LBI.
LBI. We're very hyped for this.
All right, I want one more before I put the bag away.
AKA, give it to me.
No, I'm not going to do that. Do you want another one?
I'm about to start eating them with a
I was
spoon.
waiting for you to just like pour it in your mouth a little bit.
Do you want this?
Oh yeah, give me.
Nice. Damn, I bet that's great. A great bite.
It was all the same color too.
It looks like one of those Wawa like refreshers, like the Galaxy drink. It's all cool looking. Here, baby.
That's the
Here,
face.
baby.
Her little middle finger.
Fuck you guys.
Little baby, say middle finger.
No.
Tasting like chemicals.
Ew.
Oh, so good.
You know what?
That would work for a person like me. That would not
Yeah.
work for you. You too.
Well, maybe it would because we would like
Ooh.
it so much that we would come back to our senses.
Maybe I'll stay alive a little longer.
Maybe
This is-
Right.
it tastes so good that you find the will to live.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite crisis plans that I've ever written. Was literally just a list of meals and places to eat at. Yeah.
I just thought of the
That's
best.
so real.
I just thought of the best crisis intervention plan.
For who?
If somebody's like,
The
oh
Don't
God,
Leave Yet tour.
listen, right? This is not a.
Don't leave yet tour is so fucking funny.
It cannot be overstated that I have zero medical or practical experience in therapizing or anything. But if someone's displaying like suicide, they're talking about suicidal ideations or something, make them order something that they really want. It's a perfect excuse for retail therapy. And
Yeah, my
Can't leave
crisis
until you get
plan
it.
would be like spend $500 on Lululemon.
oh, you'll
5 to 7 business days.
they give you that 2-day shipping.
Oh,
It's
my
pretty
God.
awesome. So what? Order 2 things and then you're
Yeah, you
happy.
hit the $500.
Just every other day order something. I'm good for another 3 days.
Noah Khan has a song where he mentions how he has like a manic. He forgets to take his meds. He has a manic breakdown, and he like spends all his money at Lululemon. But then he's like having a breakdown in style, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, buddy,
Goals.
relatable."
Oh yeah, that's that sour
Yeah.
goodness in there.
That was good. I liked those. So yeah, go on TikTok Shop.
I gotta check that. There has to be some more goodies on there that I could.
There's
convince myself to purchase.
there's so much stuff on TikTok Shop. I actually got you something off TikTok Shop. It's a very practical thing. But half this shit is from China. So
Yeah.
like if they send it to you, you can just like return it for some stuff, and they don't require you to send it back.
I think that depends on what it is.
Yeah, but I've done it for like half of my TikTok Shop orders. I'm like, "Oh, it doesn't fit." Just get that money back.
You hear this little con artist?
Clothes is probably scammer. Clothes is probably a different story.
I have gotten a couple clothes but they were shit, and I don't like it, but they were not good. It was all like stuff from China, and I was like, ugh,
Low quality.
low quality. That's why I just did a big haul
That's
with
a
like
thing.
Old Navy, because I was like, I want cotton, I want linen, I want like breathable stuff. I'm fucking sick. Fuck polyester. I'm sick of that bullshit.
And
All,
it just falls apart.
all my homies hate polyester.
All my homies hate polyester.
Now,
It
what
makes
are-
me hot. Like
It doesn't breathe as good as cotton.
I don't have a single sweater I can comfortably wear because they're all polyester.
Yeah, you can't be doing that.
I have to get rid of all my sweaters.
Every sweater should be cotton or cashmere.
I agree.
Or merino wool.
I'm getting real fancy now.
Oh,
Very
but not
soft.
too fancy.
But not that fancy.
Keeping it real.
All right. Well, do you want to tell everybody about your
Yeah,
surgery?
where you been?
Yeah,
Where
where the
have I
fuck have
been?
you been?
So, should I start at the very beginning of why I even needed a surgery?
We got time.
Yeah, we can. I'm hoping we could go for an hour so we could pump out 2 eppies.
Oh, she's really trying to be productive.
I
today.
am. We haven't been regularly posting because you and I have just been all
I
forked
know.
up.
We've been busy.
It feels so good to be back. Oh, and I guess we mentioned it for Nico, but just in case we're on our new set.
Yeah, check out our new set.
Speaking of being back, we're going to be making some edits to it. I don't think it'll stay exactly.
Yeah, it's a work in
like this,
progress.
but
Yeah, we took your advice and we ordered the sign that you guys voted on. I was shocked at that outcome.
Yeah.
But that was my original pick, was that the cursive writing. That was actually my initial instinct, and I was like, oh.
I think same, I think.
It was. You and I both
Likes that one.
yeah, we liked that one.
His
so
character.
that's going to be coming. So we're going to kind of build this wall behind us.
Yeah. If you have any suggestions about colors or what to do with it, let us know.
Yeah, let us know. So yeah, Nikita's been absent. She's been, she been busy, and she's gonna talk to you guys about like what her journey has been, basically.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because now it's part of my work of working with people that, speaking of, Kelsey's like, I'm about to binge on these
Yeah, I can't
Mama
stop.
V's sour candies. But
Should I open it right into the mic? Is that good audio?
I want to hear the sand in your mouth as you're.
It's not where you're opening it. It's that you're opening it.
Yeah, not giving it.
And not giving me any.
Selfish. All around, all around. But yeah, I guess it started like a good 7 years ago. 7 years ago, I started taking weight loss more seriously, and by weight loss more seriously, that meant I was in a habit of binge eating daily at that point in my life. I was in grad school. I was just starting out, and I decided that I wanted to even just contemplate. That's where that whole idea started for me, was like, let me just contemplate what it would be like to not binge for a day. What would a day where I ended and didn't binge be like? And so then I started with really small steps, literally walking, not drinking soda, seeing if I could only binge from one fast food place that day instead of other, like very small steps.
That's literally what it takes.
And then 7 years later, because I think people always, that's one of the first questions people ask me is, how long did it take? Because they think I'm going to say like, oh, a year or 2 years, and I did this very drastic thing, and then I had these results. And it was a long 7-8 year process of me learning little by little and figuring stuff out, and then over time stopping my binge eating. It's been now it'll be 3 years this summer that I haven't had a binge episode, which is pretty big. Yeah.
Well, and the reason why that takes so long too, because it's was not expecting that. It's like, what is he doing?
I'm a survivor.
Well, but it's like you were teaching yourself like literal different life habits.
Yeah.
And that's how you get like sustainable weight loss like that, is because you literally have to change your lifestyle. And lifestyle change does not happen in a year. It doesn't happen overnight.
And the food obsession was, I mean, I would imagine it's the same experience that I hear from people. It is a form of OCD. It's just food focused.
Right.
So from the moment I'm up, constantly I am thinking of, what am I going to eat? What's the next thing? What throughout the day am I? When's the next time It was just never ending. It's so exhausting. So that was the process, and then I got really into weightlifting. That was around the same time I met Yuri too, and he's
and that's how you met Yuri at the gym.
Yeah, and at my heaviest time in life, like really, he was somebody that always from a very early.
Who is Yuri?
Yuri's my hubby, my man, the love of my life, my everything, my warrior, I don't have my ring on. I have it up there. We'll pop it up for. We'll send a picture up. But
The fiance.
He's amazing.
Yeah, he's amazing, and
there's no one in the world like that motherfucker.
No, it's true.
He's great.
He's literally I've never met anybody like Yuri.
Oh yeah, most extraordinary. I always say that to him. If I wasn't in love with him, I would still love
You'd
him.
be obsessed with him.
Of who he is as a person.
I mean, I'm obsessed with him.
It's understandable.
We also have a life pact that if anything bad happens to either one of us, that like we marry each other's significant other.
You're automatically married into whoever's husband is surving.
It's true. It's true. And they have to take care of me. They gotta buy me stuff.
If something happens to Kels, I just want to be your son.
That's what would happen. It would be a motherly.
That's so funny because he's so large.
It's like, come here, baby.
So
I just walk around with him.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So you started a journey. You started your weight loss journey. And you go to the gym.
It was good timing with him because that's a big focus of his. I think anybody that meets Yuri would describe him as being a very naturally disciplined person. And so I learned a lot from him. He really changed my perspective, and he was somebody very early on that gave me constant messages of, this is not who you are. Mm-hmm. And wouldn't it be amazing for you to figure out who you are regardless of all of these other things that are happening? And that made me feel it. If somebody that I looked up to as him, I remember the first time I even laid eyes on him, and I was like, that guy is that's a man, like that's a hero.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember you telling me when you first laid eyes on him, you're like, wow, he's so hot,
so hot,
so hot,
so hot. And he's so strong, but it was also how the thing I remember more is like how other people looked at him.
Yeah.
You know, like a real leader, like, and with such kindness. Like, even though everybody was looking at him as such a leader, he carried himself with such kindness, and I had such respect for him. So
Yeah.
if he could look at me and see my potential of things, that I don't know what I would have done without that early on. I think I'm saying that because if you know somebody that's going through a journey like this, reach out to them and motivate them. Let them know that you see who they are past the things that they are going through. Because sometimes I know I lost that. I lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get caught up.
You lose yourself and you think you're the person. You're the things you're doing.
100%, yeah. I
Yeah.
gave up on there being any other way. I just thought I have to accept this, and this is now
Yeah.
who I am.
Yeah.
So that's where it started. And then it
Wow.
was years of making decisions. Like I said, little bit of living and learning, like figuring out what things work for me.
Yeah.
Binging would still come up for a number of years. So then it was figuring out, what does this mean if it's not just a discipline? It's not just a
Yeah.
behavior. It had all these emotional and trauma rooted things to it. And then it became a big part of my practice as I started figuring out what that meant and how to better work with it. It became such a focus in my life that I just noticed. I think being a therapist kind of like happens with that.
Sure.
The people that are meant for you end up finding you.
Yeah.
And so just as I was making progress on this thing and starting to work on it, then I had clients coming to me who happen to have the same focus.
Yeah, and I think that that's the amazing thing. Like you'll probably see on our Full Living Wellness Instagram page, there's like posts about binge eating and things like that, and that's because that's a lived experience for Nikita. So when you see those posts on, so not the Friends Living Well page, but the Full Living Wellness page, the therapy page, you'll see those kind of posts, and I think that that's really nice. It's the way that you talk about it. It's such an approachable way to talk about it, and it's really nice to hear the lived experience because
Yeah.
I think that that makes people feel less alone.
It is and it is accessible.
Yeah.
And as a with a relaxed sort of episode like this, can I throw out like topic questions like that?
Totally.
Yeah, do it.
What, like, hypothetically, doesn't have to be specific. What does a binge look like?
Being
'Cause-
completely out of control, even when you want to stop.
Because I've heard things from people who also, I've heard people who go through who have gone through these things too, say that a bit like, even though, like, you're not eating because you're hungry.
Oh, God.
No.
You just keep
You
going.
just eat.
At stages of one of the first things that I have to work on with people in binge recovery is the fact that we are so far past body connection. In order for you to binge eat, you have to ignore survival mechanisms in your body. Your body is going to send you a
Like-
wealth of cues.
Like, I'm full. Like,
I'm
Yeah.
uncomfortable. I don't like this. We've had enough. And in order for you to keep binging, you basically learn to dissociate and disconnect from those sensations in order to keep connecting with this one sensation that you do have a preference for.
that's amazing.
Yeah, that was a very
The
interesting
mind
experience.
is so crazy.
Oh yeah, I remember the first time feeling hungry, like afterwards, and like really sitting with that afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, what is this sensation, and what's my response to it?
Yeah.
How panicked I felt at that emptiness.
Wow.
This might be the extreme other way, or it might be a Venn diagram that's more like a circle. But I remember, like, the first time I even thought about overcoming something like that was when I saw that. Remember that viral post that The Rock put out of what his cheat day looked like?
No.
So, The Rock has like a crazy physique, right?
Totally.
And his diet is like,
It's really
It's-
it's strict.
it's strict, but it's like, it's an insane amount of food that you have to
A
eat.
lot of calories, yeah.
So many. And I learned that, like, in order to be like a competitive bodybuilder, or to obviously to gain lots of mass,
You have to eat a lot.
you have to eat a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so much
Constantly.
all day.
And all
Not-
protein.
Right. Not 3 meals, 5, 6.
Yeah.
And lots of rice, lots of protein, like,
Yeah.
and I could not, like, that's when I was like, I know I'll never be able to do that because I can't force myself to eat more.
Yeah.
Like, I
yeah,
have,
but a
I have
binge-
that block.
But
But
you know, binge is so different, right? That's where you're like, it's the out of control factor.
okay, so yeah. So that's how it's opposite, because it's a lack of control.
It's a compulsion.
Gotcha.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
exactly what it feels like. It's an obsession. It's a compulsion. You cannot stop thinking about it. Even when you feel uncomfortable. I mean, that's where the point where binging then becomes purging for some people too, because in order to extend the behavior, then you purge what you currently have inside, and so that way you can continue.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're like ping-ponging back and forth. You can ping-pong back and forth between the two.
Yeah.
But it sounds like Yuri was like a really good I don't want to say it's not potential, it's just he just saw you for who you are.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
that's-
that sounds like that really like did something for you in your binge eating recovery.
Yeah, our relationship, I mean, there are so many wounds. Binge eating is just one of them. There are so many wounds that he is and continues to help me heal in that way. But he absolutely presented to me a safe space
Yeah.
to be very honest with myself about how heavy I was.
Yeah.
That was something like people didn't talk to me about it either, which I think people did because they wanted to be kind.
Yeah.
But I needed people to talk to me about it. Like, there were periods of time in my life where I gained enormous amounts of weight in a very short period of time. And then
Okay.
people would see me, and I could see in their face that they were like, oh, you don't look okay, or I can tell, like, you've gained a lot of weight since but never said anything.
Interesting.
And so I know that that's such a delicate subject, but I want to put from my experience and my message that having somebody with love
Yes.
come to me and say, I'm noticing something. I'm noticing you isolate. I'm noticing that you never eat in front of me, but that every time I see you, you're gaining weight. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah.
Is there something that you need to be able to talk about here? Because if somebody would have addressed me in that way, I would have been like, oh, there's like...
Yeah, there's something going on
endless
here.
things for me to be able to say. And he just happened to be able to be very genuinely curious because I think it was so different from him. He's somebody that's so
Yes.
disciplined and values and honors his body. He's so connected and self-aware.
Yeah.
And so to meet me and
Yeah.
not have that, I think he was very much like, what caused this? Why
Yeah.
is this happening?
That's amazing.
It's like we can't stop saying enough good things about him, and like Yuri is like he can appear on a surface level. He can appear so simple, like not simple, like not intelligent. He's like scary smart, but he has this way of like the genuine curiosity, A, and B, he's able to like see through things to like their most
He sees,
simple.
Yeah, he sees to like the core, and he like he simplifies thing in a positive in a good way.
Yeah, he has such an ability for that.
Yeah.
He's a very good read of people.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't listen to the chatter. He doesn't like he filters. He's a filter.
He's like an animal. He's like an animal in that way, you know?
Yeah. He's very much on his own instincts
Yeah.
and believes in himself first and foremost.
I had a fantasy about him being on the podcast, but I know that
hate it.
I know that he would never do it, and so in my fantasy in the podcast it would be him, but he would be like wearing a disguise, or he would like just be like wearing a ski mask because he wouldn't want people to like see what he actually looks like.
We
you might like that actually.
I'm like, I could see him it'd be this like big hulking guy in this tiny chair with a fucking ski mask on. Like, that would be so funny.
Just spreading is taking up all the space.
'Cause
with
I
his
also
legs.
this
just-
giant human.
I also just realized too, like the other day, I was thinking about. I realized what his internet pseudonym is because I saw that he. I saw. Remember with the bullshit with Townhouse?
Yes.
I saw somebody that commented, and I was like, "Who is this person?" What- I saw
Oh,
the
did you pull a
name,
thread?
And I was like, "Oh."
Yep.
In order to get him on, we'd have to talk about vintage cars or exercise.
Or World War II.
Oh yeah.
That would be his other
Oh
topic.
boy, yeah, that would be okay.
Or
wait,
religion,
but
that's
let's
another
get
thing he
back.
likes to-
I want to circle it back because the whole point of us going on the tangent
All right,
about
other
how
than me being so in love with him.
yeah, we get okay,
We
get
all
it.
are, really.
We get it. We
We're
all are.
all in love with the guy.
We get him. We get it. We get it. So he was a big part of your journey,
Yes.
your fitness
A
journey.
linchpin.
So important.
Yes.
All those conversations I had, going to the gym for the first time, I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
So it was so nice to be able to have him, but that's where a lot of that stuff started. And then it was just experiment. It was a lot of me figuring out what kind of exercise worked best for me, what kind of diet, what kind of other wellness tools I was needing. I had started going
Yeah.
to therapy at that time, thankfully, because the counseling program offered that. And so it was just a culmination. It's a lot like we were talking about with Nico, like many different variables that were part of my wellness journey
Sure.
that culminated together and helped me. And over time, I mean, it took me 7 years. I would say I got really serious into it in the later years because I could start to see the progress. My body dysmorphia is to this day very strong.
Yeah.
Feel that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Timothy, I think you could probably speak a thing or two to body dysmorphia.
Yeah, I'm sure. But a lot. I remember you saying before you got the surgery, I remember you saying, like,
Sticky.
I worry that the body that I see in the mirror that's like my body dysmorphia body is like, I'm going to get the surgery and then I'm going to look at my body and I'm going to still see that.
Oh yeah, and I've had that a few days.
Yeah.
I've had that. When I immediately got out of the surgery, I could see the changes immediately, and it was so shocking to me.
Yeah.
To the point, like, I couldn't not look in the mirror, or every time I
So-
walked past, I was like, whoa, what
So
is
can you
happening?
tell them what the surgery was?
Oh, yeah.
Because you haven't said
Yeah.
what the surgery is.
So I had...
This is all important context.
It is. I
It
agree.
is. It's called an extended tummy tuck, and the reason that it's considered extended is because they are usually removing excess skin in some way. So I had a very specific situation. Everybody's very different in this way. I've lost over 130 pounds total. So
That's
a human.
crazy.
it's a whole other person. It's a very and I had from that what is considered a fupa. So everybody gains weight in very different ways, and it's
Oh,
all
yeah.
genetic. A lot of people gain it throughout their body or in particular parts of their body. All the women on my mom's side of the family gain weight in only one spot, and that is in their lower stomach and the tops of their thighs.
Crazy.
So even at my heaviest, I was 346 at my heaviest, at least when I was weighed. That was the heaviest I weighed in at. And even then, my weight gain was only in my lower stomach, and when I was getting to be my heaviest, the top of my chest. That was actually scary because I started having breathing and asthma issues
Whoa.
from that.
How was your sleep? Did it affect your sleep?
Oh, it was horrible. My sleep was horrible then. And that was because I would wake up kind of gasping.
Yeah.
Assuming I was having some sleep disorders start to take effect at that point
Yeah.
because of my weight. I know I was also diabetic at that point. I had just entered the realm of being diabetic
Wow.
when I was at my heaviest. All of these things were also things that really got my ass in gear because I was only 24 or 26 at the time of finding all of this out.
Yeah.
So I was very young and I was experiencing really significant
Health issues.
consequences
Yeah.
already. So I've lost 130 pounds. The weight was in my fupa, which is all the lower end of your stomach. And so my scar is from the back of my hip to the other back, which I can get up and show if that.
If you want to show it, yeah.
I can't show the scar because I have my binder on, but I have the scar would go from the back of this hip, so around here, all the way, and it goes down really low, all the way down to about here. So it's almost what they consider a 360 is when they have to do the entire circle.
But they didn't do the.
They didn't have
Okay.
just because of where I gained weight.
If you're listening, it's like top of the butt cheek, like around the hip, around under the stomach, around the front, and around the other side too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
Best
is
way I can
interesting.
describe it.
I had no idea that was so different for everybody when they go, and a lot of people have to have additional surgeries for their arms
Yeah.
and their legs
Yep.
and breasts to follow up
No.
on that.
And I remember too, when you were even so. I guess to put it to kind of come full circle on it. Nikita's been on this journey for many years, almost a decade
Yeah.
at this point.
Just about.
And I remember in the summertime, her saying, I think I'm in a place where I can get this surgery. And I just remember so much fear and uncertainty and
Terrified to contemplate.
yeah. Oh yeah. And so I remember how big of a deal it was for you to even book the consultation, let alone do the thing. So this has been a long time coming.
It was something when I started this journey. I mean, I was at the point, trigger warning, I was suicidal at that point, and I was really contemplating, I feel so low about this that I don't want to live anymore. And on the other end of that was, okay, but if I do all these drastic changes, I might not have a body that I like either. I might lose all this weight
Yeah.
and even hate my body or feel even more uncomfortable in it afterwards than I did before. And then I also felt like I was grieving binging, this entity, so I don't even get to have this binging thing
Yeah.
that comforts me. And I'm
Yeah.
going to have a body I hate when I already hate my body. So that at a very early point, I remember even talking to Yuri about this, where he said, when the day comes, if that's something you want, will face it then. And for years that kind of ruminated in my head of like, you have no idea what the possibilities are.
Yeah.
And if that's something you want, if you come to the point where you're like, I've done the weight loss journey, but I don't like my body, and there's things about this that to me felt like scars. They felt like disabilities that were constant reminders of the things that I had gone through and done to my body.
Yeah.
And how they still held me back, like even in jiu-jitsu.
Sure.
Totally held me back.
Yeah.
So the idea of getting to that point was a really big, and it came with a lot of new fears about
Your new body. Yeah.
new body.
Yeah.
And what does that mean to be 3 years past binging? Like, what am I then? Am I still in binge recovery? And what if I ever have a binge episode again then? What does all of this mean to me?
Yeah.
Will feeling leaner or skinnier, will that make me want to binge?
Yeah.
All of these
Yeah.
fears just felt so foreign to me.
Yeah. But I think it also like tells me so much about like you can change your appearance, but doing that work to figure out like all of the other stuff is also so needed. Like that, like even you just peeling back the layers of that, I think is just speaks to just like you are on a self-healing journey from like the inside out,
Absolutely.
basically. Yeah. Wow, I admire you so much. I mean, like you already know.
Yeah.
You already know I love you so much. Fucking love you. Okay. Anyway, Nikia's great and awesome and perfect, and she's skinny.
I feel so good. I feel
She
so
looks
much like myself.
crazy. Like, yeah, and I remember even just like the discomfort of, and this was not something that I thought about until you were about to get the surgery. Like the discomfort of carrying that weight in your abdomen and then doing jujitsu.
Yeah. I
never thought about that.
It was when I started having hip issues. That's when I started
Yeah.
looking into it, and I was like, oh, I think that's what my
Yeah.
issue is, because I felt it while rolling. It was like a particular when I was just trying to hold my guard, and
Yeah.
I felt myself try to tuck in really tight, and I could feel that pocket of skin like it's hard, like almost pinch in between,
Yeah.
like really trying to find room, and then I felt this pain in my hip, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's this, like anytime I try to get that small, it's pushing back into my hip.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
That was a really big moment, because it wasn't just about the appearance of it, of how much I hate looking at it. It was,
It was like, I need to do this.
yes, I think this is
Yeah.
actually hurting my body now to have this there.
Yeah.
And weightlifting was the other place where I would just feel it so much in my back. Anytime I would do a squat or anything, I was like, I feel like I have another 20 pounds that is already being added to whatever
Yeah.
weight I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, how much weight did they take off in the surgery? How much skin?
12 pounds of skin, I know, and then I've lost at least 15 through the surgery process.
Jesus.
So, like,
So
I would
like
imagine.
another 30 or so.
Oh
just
my
about.
God.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah. Well, and I think part of that, to also add the caveat, in all of this fear and uncertainty, Nikita gets this major surgery, and then she has major complications,
Yes.
which are rare. Were very rare, and I don't know how much you want to delve into that.
Oh, no,
but
totally. I mean, I'm my only caution in it is I don't want it to prevent anybody or make them
Yeah.
fearful of ever having a procedure like this, because it was such a rare thing to me. It had nothing to, I didn't do anything wrong.
No.
My physician didn't do anything
no,
wrong.
your doctor was like, "This, I can't believe this."
When you're a very well experienced plastic surgeon is like, I have never seen this before,
Yeah.
that's when you know you're on some real shit.
Yeah, but I think that's like it just speaks to the thoughtfulness and all these things that you were weighing going into it, right? Because you knew that this was a possibility of things potentially going wrong. And for Nikita, a lot of things did go wrong. That's not going to be for everybody, but I think that it's been a really hard couple weeks for her.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, it extended your healing time quite a bit.
By a number of weeks. I had the first surgery on the 20th, and when I came out of surgery, I felt amazing. I was
20th
standing-
of
February.
And when we're recording it today, what's today?
The 18th,
Of
19th.
19th
April.
of April.
April. Yeah.
Almost 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So the first surgery, right immediately after, felt amazing. I came out of it feeling really good, and then 5 days into it, we noticed that the wound healing did not look good.
Yeah.
And I was essentially showing signs of infection, even though the wound itself had no infection. So obviously a wound would look infected and be showing signs of bacterial buildup, and I had none of that, but I was definitely showing signs essentially of an allergic reaction and a little bit of shock that I was going through. And over time, my wound dissonanced, which means the wound starts to open up. And that happened to me because, one, I had such an excess of skin. So he had to cut all the skin up above my belly button. So from my very lower stomach,
wow,
all the way up above my belly button, that skin was removed. He had to sew up my abdomen, my muscles.
Yeah, and so you remove that, you gotta make it go back together.
And that was the hard part.
It's a lot of space. It's
a
lot of space.
I think it's just the shock of it. Like, had I like maybe just cut my arm, and like, I don't think I would have had such a reaction the way I did, but it was because of needing to pull and bind together.
Yeah.
A lot of real estate.
A lot of real estate. The other thing that you guys don't know about Nikita is, like, Nikita just is sensitive, period, to stuff. Like, she's sensitive to clothing material. She's really sensitive. And so I think she also, like, this is the craziest thing. When you got the rash on your abdomen, like, right before the surgery, like, her body, like, she's... You're so in tune with your body.
It was
that, like, your body was, like, freaking out because you were coming, this stressful event was coming. She had, like, a stress rash on where she was getting the surgery, like,
manifested.
Crazy what the mind can do. So,
and I've always been like that. I didn't even remember until my mother had mentioned it, that when I got my belly, I think it was my belly button or something, pierced, and they used like a cheap, silver or metal.
Yep.
Turned green.
No, my body expelled it.
Yeah.
It literally pushed it
nope.
through the skin, and
yeah.
So my body was having a lot of sensitivities and doing things like that I don't think would necessarily impact everybody the same way.
No, but that was a thing for her, was like the stuff that was used to bind and sew, was her body didn't like that stuff, and so that complicated the healing, which then brought you by a lot, which means she was in so much pain. And what was scary for us, and this is not stuff that, like, people would get, but, like, when Nikita's absent and silent, it is heavy. It means stuff is fucked up. So when
I'm an isolator.
Yeah, so when she's radio silent, like, me and Ashley were texting each other, like, do you know what's going on? Is she okay? I'm trying not to stress her out. Like,
I'm just in bed, just
she's
tears.
crying, and in her cart on Amazon are these t-shirts.
Yeah. This was what got me through it, was imagining me being healed up and having funny moments like this.
So yeah, so it was rough. She had to get a second surgery. But the second surgery was what fixed you right up.
After the second surgery, almost immediately that evening, I remember just feeling, I took a nap when we got home from the second surgery, and I woke up and I could just feel something was different.
Yeah.
And the wound started healing completely different from that point.
Yeah.
And now I'm completely healed up. I went back to jiu-jitsu.
She did.
Just this past week. I went to 2 different classes. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, 2 months later, I'm getting back into it.
And Yuri took care of her every step of the way. He's now Dr. Yuri.
Literally.
I am going to buy him a white coat sometime.
Did I tell you about the jokes he was making with my surgeon?
No.
When I was opened up, he was joking that I'm a cheesesteak. And he brought my surgeon a box of stuffing.
Go into that.
Just because I was splayed open, so he said I looked like a cheesesteak.
Yeah, her literal inside. That was the craziest wound I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Ever seen. And I'm not I don't work with wounds, so when I showed my mom was like, oh yeah, that shit bad. It's not good.
I've seen parts of myself I never want to see again.
Also, in this process, I've seen so much of Nikita's body that I never thought. I'm not mad about it.
I'm like, so my vagina's in this picture. Do you want this?
She sent me. I was getting my hair done, and she sent me a photo, and she was like, "Oh, by the way, my titties in this picture," and I was like, I opened it in the chair. There's somebody standing over my shoulder, and I'm like, fucking
lucky them.
Yeah, no, I swiped up. It was fine, but yeah. So Nikita's literally looks like a different person. How do you feel now? Like, I know you mentioned there's times where you look at your body and you're like, huh?
Yeah, it's a weird experience because I feel more like myself. Like, especially when I did jujitsu this week, I was like, this is how I know I'm supposed to feel. This is
Yeah.
my body. This is what was underneath, and it was just this thing sitting on top and taking up
Yeah.
space. And then in terms of my body image, which is much more subjective, right? Like,
Yeah.
body image is about what you perceive of your own image and how you look. And so one's perception is exactly that. It's subjective. It's what you make up of it. Doesn't mean that it's reality.
It's not reality.
Yeah.
And that's the problem
It is a problem.
body dysmorphia in that way.
And this is why I want a lobotomy. And you guys won't give me one.
Come here.
Fuckers.
We'll get there, Kels, one day. One day.
No, it won't.
Tom's like literally never gonna happen.
She'll just be permanently doing deep breath work over there in the corner.
Yeah, that's all I would do with a lobotomy.
The lobotomy, yeah, probably.
That's all I would do.
But yeah, so body dysmorphia is a thing.
Yeah, and Nikita's amazing. She went through crazy surgery. It was dark. It was dark times for a little bit, but
Coming out of it.
we're
Lights are
coming out
back
of
on.
it. Yeah, and you know, I think it's gonna be super fun to like do like clothes shopping and go to LBI. We have like a wife day coming up where we're gonna like do all the self-care stuff. We're gonna get a massage.
Massage, petties.
We're gonna get we're gonna do before LBI. I didn't tell you about this, but we're gonna like get our lashes done and stuff, and it'll be really fun. So
It's fun to enjoy it. It's fun to enjoy my body and feel like my outside now matches how I feel on the inside. It's a huge gift. I keep having moments where I'm like, I can't believe that I get to live like this now. Like, I wake up and it's not just a dream that I have to...
Yeah, but you worked so hard for it. I feel like that's the thing. It's like you did so much hard work, and that's why you're in the place that you're in right now.
Yeah.
You did the hard work. You can't just get this shit for free. Nothing like this comes easy.
No, it was a lot of hard work, and oh god, I've had so many interesting... I could go on and on about this forever because I've had so many interesting experiences even in these past 2 weeks about perception, not only my own but of others.
Oh, really?
I was just talking to shout out Iron Will, one of our teammates. He can have a whole podcast. I'm so shocked he doesn't have a podcast of his own.
I would never let him on our podcast.
What?
He would say no way.
He would
He
blow
would-
up the spot.
We would get canceled if he came on our podcast.
That's what would make it fun.
Okay. Well, if you want to be Joe Rogan about it, I'll support it, but I'm not going to be happy about it.
All are accepted here as long as you are on AJ 150 or whatever it's called. You are accepted here, bro.
One of Tom's worst qualities is that he listens to Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan
He has great guests.
I hate it.
Great guests. Arguably the most successful stand-up comic of all time. Can never tell when somebody's telling a joke. He will let a joke fall flat. Anyway,
Wait, so what did Iron Will say? What did he do?
We were just talking. He was saying like how different I look, but at the same time, like I look like myself. Like,
Yeah, 100%.
Especially, I think the way I'm carrying myself, people are kind of like, oh, you just look more into your own element, more comfortable with yourself.
Yeah.
And he was asking me like what some of my experiences were, and we got into this topic of how people perceive fat people, and an interesting experience I've had, and I know you and I have talked about this. Like I definitely have met people in jiu-jitsu, in the weightlifting community, who look down on me, and literally there's a couple of people I can mention who have never even introduced themselves to me.
Yeah.
And I know from content that they post that they really dislike anybody that is heavy, overweight,
Yep.
or defined as fat. And
Yep.
they tend to not like them because they associate them with characteristics like being
Lazy.
lazy and undisciplined and not
Yeah.
a hard worker,
Yep.
and making lots of excuses and engaging in really unhealthy behavior.
Yeah.
And so it would be this thing where I would feel from them. I could see them looking at me and judging me, and I would feel from them these assumptions of things that I am not,
Yeah.
and not even hold space to even say to me as one teammate to
Y-
another,
introduce
like, Hi,
yourself,
my name
yeah.
is, type of a thing. And I mean, these
Yep.
are people now I've been like seeing off and on for a couple of years.
Yeah,
now.
it's weird. It's weird.
And
That's
then
so
I'm seeing some of their faces and responses.
now
hereafter.
now you want to talk to me. Now you want to be friends.
It's like a very interesting thing where
Literally, I will fight all of you and stab you in the head and neck and throat.
Lobotomize them.
Yeah.
It's been
Fucking look at my wife like that.
It's been really helpful because I talk about this with a lot of my clients. Like, we're always talking about how hard it is to live life knowing that we receive judgment.
Yeah.
And I think we all have things about, like, we all feel judgment from others in different
Absolutely.
ways. But people walk around with judgments and impressions and assumptions, and then in part we kind of know that can be made about us, and then we just exist with that. Maybe like in my case, knowing I'm not those things, like knowing I'm working very hard.
You know yourself enough to know that that's, not true, and so you're able to kind of see that, acknowledge it, and like move through it, whereas other people who are not as sure of themselves, like, that's devastating to feel that.
Exactly.
And it brings up this idea too, like, I mean, there's so much talk about like GLP-1s and like all of this stuff, and it's so interesting to see the conversations that are happening between people, because people are like, oh, you're fat, you should lose weight, but then people lose weight with a GLP-1 and you cheated and you're still not good enough, or you didn't lose weight the right way. And it's like, it's just so interesting to hear some of these like conversations and interpretations of like, I also see a lot of conversations online too, just about like even using the word fat.
Yeah.
Right? Like, just being able to like say I'm fat or somebody else is fat. It's kind of like this like curse word, and a lot of people are like, just say it.
Right? Some people identify with it.
Yeah, some
they
people
even
do.
own it, and then other people,
Yeah.
it holds so much negative connotation to it that they throw it around
Yeah, I have friends that like have literally said to me like the worst thing in the world that could happen to me is like to be fat, and I'm like, damn, bro.
Oh yeah.
That's the worst thing that could ever happen to you? Because I
That's
feel
how
like
much
worse
it
stuff
matters.
has happened in your life. That's low on the
Yeah.
totem pole here.
Sometimes being skinny will save you from the rest of that stuff, though, if that's the...
Yeah, well, I think that it's like, disordered eating and all of these things. It comes in many different shapes and forms, and I think that, with social media and like and influencers and all of this stuff, it starts to kind of permeate a lot of conversations and how people view themselves.
Absolutely.
And they don't realize it's disordered behavior. They think it's normal because you're seeing it online, and it's like, what I eat in a day, and it's like 1,300 calories, and you're like, oh, I'm only supposed to eat 1,300 calories, stuff like that. So,
Oh yeah, don't even get me started on the internet bullshit of... Like I said, I'm very lucky to have somebody that knows a whole lot about it and has guided me well, but I think that's why this
I
stuff
need
just...
to ask him some questions, I think.
Yeah.
Dr. Erie, how much what's my caloric intake? What should I be?
He'll tell you exactly.
What are my macros?
There's nobody
He
better.
would love that. Did you guys
That's how you get them on.
Did you guys watch the WNO last night?
No.
Or Flow Grappling last night? I saw a couple clips. I almost
good.
asked Gary for a link.
To the... Yeah.
Yeah. But I saw Nikki Ride one, which is not surprising because he's like the
Right.
$1 billion grappler.
Yeah. He's good, too.
But Helena Cravar beat Elizabeth Clay.
Yes. Oh, that one I want to see.
Yeah.
Nobody.
She's been getting a lot of rear naked chokes lately, which is kind of she's very much I don't watch too much of her stuff, but a lot of the stuff I've seen is very like leg locky, triangle-y, and she's been getting a lot of rear naked chokes. I have no back control. I really need to learn how to do that.
I was working on that with
I'm
Johnny
I'm
Lyons.
really bad at that. I
He was-
lose them as soon as I get them.
I'll have to show. He was giving me some really good tips about just kind of how to throw your opponent's shoulders back as you're
Interesting.
you're seeking that choke, like as you're seeking
Yeah.
to sink it in and deepen it. He just had some really things you wouldn't even notice probably watching
He's
them. They're so
he's
subtle,
really
but
smart.
so smart and such a good teacher. And
He's
That's-
just a good dude. He'd be a great podcast.
He-
He would talk about anything.
he would. And he's definitely somebody that shows the kindness of the jiu-jitsu. I mean, I think jiu-jitsu's known for that in a lot of ways, but
Yeah.
Johnny Lyons definitely.
He is that guy.
Yeah, super kind, always happy to teach you and show you something, and
Yeah.
yeah, so it was nice. But
Well,
we'll
thanks
work
for
on
sharing
your
your experience, though.
Yeah, I know.
I think it's
been
important for people to hear what that's like.
Yeah, I think it's just been weighing. Obviously, I'm still going through it, so it's a
Yeah.
topic the
It'll be-
whole experience, but then perception of things and judgment
Yeah.
has been standing out to
It'll
me.
be recurring. Like it'll be something that we'll keep talking about. Tom as a joke. In
Would
his
you
head.
say it's been weighing heavy on your mind?
weighing heavy on my lower abdomen.
Is there like a sound on your soundboard?
No, it's weirdly enough there isn't.
Really?
Get your life.
What the fuck is the point of that thing then? I didn't like that extended eye contact that just happened.
All right, well, let me check in with you guys and see, especially help me gauge things on the outside. Questions about the procedure or the journey that maybe I didn't cover.
Do you want to share approximate costs? Is that something you would ever talk about? Because I think that's a big conversation for people, like when they're looking to get these things done.
I was able to get a discount on mine because I was originally supposed to have the procedure with a different physician, and we had a little bit of a deal with like releasing some photos and having some social media stuff that had reduced that rate. So I was able to get my physician for lower than he typically goes for. However, that procedure usually goes for $32,000.
Okay. So ballpark that, y'all.
Yeah, it's a very and I would recommend doing. There is
He's an amazing physician too.
He's an amazing physician. Dr. Subio is the physician.
Yeah, Subio Plastic Surgery. You can look him up on Instagram. You can see a lot. They do everything.
Cannot recommend enough. And if he can't do it, he'll send you to somebody that is good enough to do it. And the reason I say that is because in my healing process, as I was overcoming this, and everybody's story to me was, oh, you're going to be fine. You're in really good hands. And then they would follow up with another procedure that they heard from another local physician that was just horrifying, like necrosis of skin and really major issues. And so with that, I just want to say, make sure the physician that you go to is known for being the best of the best, that you know somebody that has actually gone there.
Yeah.
I know somebody that has gone there for multiple procedures. I talked to multiple other people that had procedures with him. Best of the best. Every dime
And there's
I spent
no
was worth it.
and there's no cheat code here. Again, this is like we say this a lot in a lot of episodes. It's probably me that says it the most, but it's like you can't just pay for something and it's low price and expect excellence. Like you can't cheat this. It's something that you have to put a lot of time, money, and energy into.
Yeah. And there's a lot of
and
details
it's worth it.
that go into things that I would have never thought about, but just like how he does the incision, the belly button reconstruction, because you have to have all of that redone.
I didn't even think about your dang belly button.
Oh,
You
yeah.
still got a belly button?
Well, your belly button is kind of like a stalk that sticks up in, so they cut the skin away from it, and then he had to make me a new belly button, but your original is like inside of you. It's not just a thing on the outside.
Oh my god!
But these are the huge details that, like, mine look amazing. You probably
You've a
wouldn't even
reconstructed
know.
belly button. That's so cool.
Yes, and it's one of the giveaways. I think the reason I'm
Free belly
mentioning
button.
the
Dr.
belly-
Stupid.
All right.
I think the reason I'm mentioning the belly button is because that's the thing that's usually a giveaway for tummy tuck procedures, and that people notice like right away. They call it the coin slot belly button. Because of
shut
how-
up.
And it
Oh
looks,
my God.
it's very obvious of like, oh, that person had a procedure done, and with
I never would have
Subio,
known
you
that.
would never know. It looks completely flawless and beautiful and amazing. But these are the things. I mean, even with my complications, like called me on a daily basis, checking in with me,
Yeah.
making sure that I'm okay. Anything that I needed, even to today, he's like, just reach out to me to let me know.
Yeah.
These are the kinds of things when you're going into a procedure like this. It's not just the money; it's the care.
Yeah, and
that
you've
you wanna
gotten
have.
really, really, really good care through them.
Really good
Really
care.
good care.
And
Well,
it
you
is
get
a
what you
huge-
pay for.
That's the thing. It's a huge investment. I'm planning on maybe doing like a little YouTube video just informationally, because I know I had such a hard time finding a lot of this stuff online. I thought
Yeah.
that there would be tons of content, and there just wasn't. But I know that there's a tons of questions. So if people have questions, they want to reach out to me privately and ask questions, I'm more than happy to ask. And like I said, I might do a video to answer some more
Maybe
questions
Tom
on
could
it.
chop up some of this and do just a video on your weight loss, and you could send it to Subio and be like,
He would be an awesome person to have as a guest, because he is so funny.
I would love that.
And
I
I
would
would
love
love to
that.
hear him be able to talk more about.
Yuri loved him. Yuri loved that guy.
They had so much fun. I didn't even tell you the second joke that they had. So on my second procedure, he wanted to bring a box of stuffing so he could hand Dr. Subio a box of stuffing and tell him to stuff me up before he sews me up.
Did he do it?
They laughed about it. They thought, I'm like dying on the table. I'm like, so are we sewing me up? Are we
You're
done?
like, I need more oxycodone right now, and
They're
like-
dapping
and
each
he's
other
like,
up.
"Where's my stovetop?"
They're like, haha, seasoned bread.
Yeah, gluten.
Fuckers.
They
But
had so
that's
much
also
fun
the
together.
levity you need sometimes.
Yeah.
Like when you're absolutely dying, you need a partner who can like make you laugh really hard. Tom
just
does that for
remind me
me
who's
all
gonna-
the time.
Remind us that things are going to be okay.
Are they?
Yep.
All right, y'all. It's been a great episode. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Yeah, I don't have anything else except these things rock. Get them
Thanks.
on the TikTok.
Thanks, Dr. Subio. Thanks,
Shout
Mama
out-
V's.
Shout out Dr. Yuri, Dr. Subio, who's an actual doctor.
Yeah.
Mama V's. Shout out Reba McIntosh.
Shout out,
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine naming a baby Reba?
Yep.
Can you, a
No.
little baby comes out and you're just
Like, could you imagine naming
Reba.
your dog Kelsey?
that did happen.
Awful. Stupid.
I
What a
complimented
terrible.
him, so I was like, that's a great name for a dog.
Did
He
you?
was like, thanks.
You lied.
That's a little white lie.
I've taught Tom that little white lies can be good sometimes.
Yeah, because it doesn't hurt the person's feelings to be like, oh, that's a bad name. It's
Yeah.
like calling someone's baby ugly. You just don't do that.
Or just
I feel like
stupid.
those are so different. I feel like those are two very different things.
Really hurting someone's feelings is different.
I'm saying calling somebody's baby ugly to their face,
Or
a thing
tell-
that,
or
a
telling
thing, a thing that they birthed out of their body,
That thing
and
that
then
comes from you is
and then
ugly.
telling a dog owner that they named their dog a dumb name. Those are so like those are on such different playing fields for me.
Oh, okay.
not comparative.
I don't think that they're comparative or
So you're just
comparable.
comfortable with, or uncomfortable with both?
Yeah, sure.
Both
So,
make me equally
similar then.
uncomfortable. Dogs named Kelsey and ugly babies make me equally uncomfortable.
Thank you. Thank you very much for hearing me and seeing me right there.
I think I'm disagreeing with you a lot today by accident. I promise you, I'm really not trying to do it on
Oh man,
purpose.
we're about to have a couples therapy session, y'all.
We'll tune in for the next one. We'll see about that.
Yeah,
Episode 3.
yeah, we're not doing that. I can't do